And for more, we have Akhilesh Suman joining us. Well, Akhilesh, with reports of a possible Hamas disarmament agreement, as Trump calls it, historic agreement, alongside differing positions from Israel as well. How realistic are the prospects for a lasting peace in Gaza with a new Palestinian government?
Lipakshi, there's no doubt that the announcement is quite historic because, that the whole world was actually expecting that some breakthroughs would come because, Gaza, there was no retaliation from the side of Gaza in Israel for quite long time. But we have been seeing that there had been attacks from Israeli side to Gaza. I asked to my sources in Israel about this thing that it is one-sided attack inside Gaza. So Israelis said that Hamas still controls around 40 to 45% areas of Gaza. So and we have suspicion that they are preparing for another war. So that is why Israelis are attacking everywhere. They are feeling that there might be hideout of Hamas or its other related outfits inside Gaza. So in that way, this announcement is quite important because that this announcement will pave way for completion of the peace agreement that has been signed between Hamas, Israel, and Americans. So I think that let us hope that something would come out of it because the peace in Gaza, peace in the whole Palestinian region is quite important. Not only Gaza is disturbed, but also Palestinian authorities area, that is the West Bank or Ramallah, they are also disturbed. Many a times we feel that there are raids from Israeli side to West Bank area, and this is on the suspicion of extremists or militants or Hamas people are hiding in that area. And even settlements have also been going on in West Bank area, and there has been conflict between new settlers and also the old people who are living there, who belong to Palestinians, area in that way. So I think that this announcement is quite important, and everybody in the world is keeping the fingers crossed that once the disarmament process starts and the new Palestinian administration takes place, this will become a very important region in the world, given the fact that right from October 7, 2023, this area is quite disturbed. We see the rubble. Gaza has turned into rubble, and people, one cannot imagine that how the people of Gaza are living in those amidst those rubbles. So for life, for humanitarian purpose, and for also the value of human life, the peace agreement needs to be implemented as soon as possible. Yeah. And as Donald Trump is telling that after the demilitarization, disarmament of Hamas, the Israeli forces will return back from Gaza. So everyone in the world expects that this should happen as soon as possible.
Absolutely, quite an important announcement indeed. Also, Akhilesh, the confrontation between the US and Iran, if we talk about, is now expanding through military strikes, sanctions, maritime tensions. Of course, US says it has turned around 24 commercial ships in Iran blockade, and transits through the waterway remain extremely low. Where do we see all this moving now?
This is war of loves, Lipakshi, between Iran and USA. We have seen that how, after 2023, the whole Gaza area has been facing, the people of Gaza has been facing. The same thing is happening inside Iran also. What I am getting from my sources from inside Iran, they are telling that the attacks from American side are quite severe. They are, affecting the human life, they are affecting civilian life, and some, punishments are also going inside Iran on the suspicion of their spying, their democratic people. So many people have been hanged. So the whole news is very discomforting inside Iran also. But IRGC that is considered to have taken the mantle of power in Iran, and they are working on their own and there is a lack of political leadership inside Iran. That is why any ceasefire is not sustaining. Once the ceasefire is announced, it stops for 2 or 3 days, and again some attacks comes from Iranian side. We are seeing it for last three ceasefire announcements, and U.S. Narrative is that U.S. is facing brunt of the attacks from Iranian side because if you go to Jordan, if you go to Egypt, if you go to Kuwait, people are getting the news. But what is happening inside Iran, nobody is getting the news because the media is quite censored. Their internet, blockades are there. So we are not getting the real picture inside. And that, embarrassment is also making IRGC to attack again on, American bases in the whole region. So it is going nowhere. It is going to destruction inside Iran. They are not negotiating on the nuclear issue. They want to keep the Strait of Hormuz closed for every country in the world. So situation is quite, disheartening for everyone, and attacks are mounting. Iranians are attacking, and then Americans are attacking. People of Iran are trapped between the fight between the regime and the American forces.
As of now, the situation is going nowhere. Thank you so much, Akhilesh, for all that analysis.